So this is your review. First thing we want to do is complete a table to show if it's to show proportional relationship. So we have to find k. Once we find k, we know what to multiply or divide by. So in this case, k equals y over x. K equals 7.5 over 4. And if you divide that, 7.5 divided by 4, k equals 1.875. Right, so you know that 1.875, so here, going this way, it's times 1.875, obviously because it's getting bigger, and if you go this way, you're going to divide by 1.875, and that's how we can. So from 60, we're going down, so we're going to multiply, right, times 60, and the answer is 112.5. And from 12, we're going up, so we're going to divide that by 1.875, and that's going to give us 6.4. And those are our two answers. Okay, so as long as you find k, you can use you can use k to multiply or divide depending on which direction you're going. So which one has a better deal? You have three things over here. So I'm gonna call this A, B, and C. So most of the times money goes on top, so it's $3.49 for 18 ounces. The second one is $4.99 for 28 ounces. And the last one is $6.79 for 40 ounces. Right? So divide both by 18, divide by 18, divide by 18, and we're going to get our unit rate of 3.49 divided by 18. It's going to give us rounded 0.19 cents over 1 ounce. And over here we get $4.99 divided by 28 ounces, and we get rounded 0.18 cents over 1 ounce. And the last one is 6.79 divided by 40 ounces, and that's going to give us rounded 17 cents for 1 ounce. So obviously the better deal is this one, 6.79. So this is our better deal. Okay, so make sure you show all your work. Use the table below to find how many miles are driven in 50 hours. So 15 hours. So again, you can extend that. There's no point. There's no reason why you can't. So 15 hours you would put over here. So we need to find this relationship here. So we can find k, and you can tell that it's, 4 to 48 is times 12, 7 to 84 is times 12, and 10 to 120 is times 12. So we're going to multiply 15 times 12, and you get 180 miles. Okay, that was a little throwback memory lane. So for every 5 minutes, a shoe factory produces 120 pair of sneakers. So 120 pair of sneakers for every 5 minutes. How much will it produce in a day? Oh my God. We got to figure out how many minutes in a day. So 1 hour has 60 minutes, and 1 day has 24 hours. So it'd be 24 times 60. That's going to give us 1,440 minutes. So we're going to put 1,440 minutes. Find the relationship here. How does 5 become 1,440? Well, let's divide that by 5. And our multiplier here is 288. So I'm going to multiply the top by 288. And times 120 equals, so in 1 day, they can produce 34,560 sneakers. So we want to find out if there's a proportional relationship. Well, so we have 3 lines. So let's look at each one individually. So line A, definitely there is a proportional relationship because it starts at 0, 0. So yeah, A is yes. B is definitely no because it doesn't start at 0, 0. And C is yes. C, line B. So line A is a yes. Line B is a no. Line C is a yes. Now it says we find the unit rate for that line. So let's look at A, and let's look, well, 1 is right here, right? So is for 1, does it match up with anything? Yes, it does. It matches up with 3. So the unit rate is 3 over 1, or whatever this is, 3 something, 3 over 1. That would be the unit rate for line A. Line B, there is no unit rate because it's not proportional. So let's not forget it. Let's not do B. Let's do C. C, 1 and something doesn't match for line C. So let me pick another point that might, well, I think I can pick this one. For line C, it's the point is 0.6 and 3. And if you do k over y, k equals y over x, k would be 3 over 6, k would be 0.5. So the unit rate would be 0.5 over 1, whatever it is. Okay. 6, Taylor can do 50 push-ups in 5 minutes. So write 50p in 5 minutes. Sam can do 120 push-ups in 12 minutes. What is the difference between their push-up rates and push-ups per hour? So let's find out how much they do in an hour. So an hour has 60 minutes, right? So this would be times 12. And on top would be times 12. So 50 times 12 is 600. So we can have 600 push-ups in 1 hour. And here's the relationship is times 5. So I'm going to do times 5. And that's going to give us blah, 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 0, 0, 600. So there is no difference because they are exactly the same. So they do the same amount of push-ups in 1 hour. But the difference would be whatever. So let me just write that 600 push-ups in 1 hour. And this is also 600 push-ups in 1 hour. So if there was a difference, you would subtract these two. And then you would tell me what the difference would be in an hour between them two. Okay. 7, what is the unit rate per hour, right? So it's 3/5 of a mile over 2/7 of an hour. So I want to find out how many miles in an hour, so multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply by the reciprocal. The bottom one will all simplify to 1, and on top I get 3 times 7, which is 21 over 10, or 2 1/10 mile in 1 hour. So that would be our answer. Okay, so far this should be pretty simple for you. 8, a baby can crawl 2/9 of a mile in 45 minutes. What is its unit rate per hour? Okay, so it's 2 ways of doing this. So 2/9 of a mile in 45 minutes, or 45 minutes, you can write it as 3/4 of an hour. It's the same thing, right? Because it's 15, 15, 15, 15. If you divide an hour in 4, you get groups of 15, and 3 of them would be 45 minutes. Makes it much simpler because now all I do is multiply by 4/3, and I'm gonna get my unit rate and top by 4/3. So it's gonna be 8 over 27 of a mile in 1 hour. Now, if you didn't know how to do that, and you did it with minutes, 2 over 9 in 45 minutes, and you rolled it like this because you didn't know how to convert it to a fraction, you might be able to, let's see, change this to 1 minute, right? The unit rate per minute, which is divide by 45, and on top I'm going to divide by 45. If I divide 2 over 9 by 45, 2/9 divided by 45 is the same thing as multiplying by 1 over 45, and you get 2 over 9 times 45, 9 times 45 equals 405, which you can now, you want to change it to an hour, multiply by 60, because 1 minute, right, times 60 is 1 hour, so I multiply the top by 60. So I would get 120 over 405, which you can definitely simplify. Divide by 5. Let's see, divide 120 divided by 5 equals 24 on top, and 405 divided by 5, which is 81 over 81. I can still simplify that. Divided by 3. I can divide it by divide by 3. 81 divided by 27. would be 8 over 27 divided by 3 is 8 over 27 miles in 1 hour. 8 over 27. Is that what we got before? 8 over 27? Let me just go back. This is what I had before. Yep, I had 8 over 27 now. So you can do it both ways. Explain what the point 150 represents. Well, let's find out where that is. 150 is this point right here. You go 1 and then up 50. So 150. 150 is actually the unit rate. The unit rate, because it represents $50 in 1 hour. Okay, because that's what this point represents right here. Remember that the first value is your x value and the second value is your y value, okay? Can't forget that. 10. Carrie uses 1 3 cups of sugar to make 1 batch of caramelized apples. How much sugar does she need to make 8 batches? So let me write this like this. 1 3/4 sugar to make 1 batch. And if I want to make 8 batches, we can set up a proportion, right? How much sugar would I need? Well, times 8, and then times 8 on the top. So 1 3/4 is the same thing as 1.75, or it doesn't matter how you put in your calculator, 1.75, or actually 1 3/4. And then you can just multiply it out. 1.1 3/4 times 8 is going to give us 14 cups of sugar. Oh my God, that's a lot of sugar. Okay. Is the graph proportional or not? How can you tell? Well, I can tell it's proportional because it starts at 0, 0, and it's a straight line. Let me find k. To find k, you can pick any of these points, the ones that are given to you here, or you find the point yourself. So I'm going to use this point right here. And this point is 20 on the x-axis and 30 on the y. This is my x and this is a y. So let's find k. So k equals y over x. K equals 30, sorry. Equals 30 over 20. And k equals 1.5. So if I were to write the equation here, it would be y equals k times x. So if I had 120 square feet of carpet, how much would it cost? The unit rate here is $1.5, right, for 1 square feet. Right? And remember, from the unit rate, from k we can go straight to unit rate. We can set this up and then very easily set up our proportion, which is 120 square feet. So if I had 100 square feet would be times 120, and then the top times 120, and 1.5 times 120 equals $180. And that's a final answer. 12. Gas is priced as $2.45 per gallon. 5K, really? So dollars usually are Y, and gallon will be our X. So if you do Y equals KX, sorry, not Y equals KX, K equals YX. K equals YX, and you can tell that's already our unit rate. So it's 2.45 over 1 gallon, which is the same. If you divide that, you get that K equals 2.45. So our equation, instead of Y and X here, they're asking us to use C and G. So C is going to represent the total, which is the same thing as Y, and gallons is going to be our X. So this would be the total would be 2.45 times G, the number of gallons. Okay, so every gallon is $1. So if I bought 1 gallon, it'd be $2.45. If I bought 2 gallons, it'd be $2.45 times 2. Okay, and so forth and so forth, right? So I would replace this variable with the number of gallons that I buy. To make fruit smoothie, Taylor used 4 7 cups of banana and 1 1/3 cups of strawberry. How much blueberry is needed if she uses 1 cup of banana? So let me write that like this: 4 cups of bananas over 1 3/5 cups of. Actually, the banana should be at the bottom. it's 1 3/5 cups of blueberries, light blue, over 4 7 cup of bananas. So I guess we're asking for the unit rate. So what happens if I have 1 cup of banana? How much blueberry would I need? Well, multiply this by 7/4 and multiply the top by 7/4. You have a calculator. Make use of it. I don't, so I'm going to multiply it. So I'm going to change 1 3/5 to 8/5. And then I'm going to multiply by 7/4. Simplify. And I'm going to get 14/5 or 2 4/5, which is the same thing you should get on your calculator. So if I have 1 cup of banana, I would need 2 4/5 cups of blueberries. Linda can make 18 airplanes in 3/5 of an hour. How much can she make in an hour? Okay. So 18 airplanes, I'll write air in 3/5 of an hour. Times, so I'm going to know how many planes I can make in 1 hour. Times 5/3. Times 5/3. And if I multiply this, I'm going to get 30 airplanes in 1 hour by multiplying 18 times 5/3. And this is my answer. It's not pretty simple. Tim needs 1/6 cup of jam for every 3 cups of peanut butter to make a sandwich. How much peanut butter would he need if he uses 1 cup of jam? Well, so because I want to know 1 cup of jam, 1 cup of jam will be at the bottom. So what do I know? I know that if every time he uses 3/5 cups of peanut butter, he uses 1/6 cup of jam. So what happens when he uses 1 full cup of jam? How much of the other ingredient will he need? Well, multiply by the reciprocal times 6/1 and times 6/1 here. This all cancels down, simplifies to 1, and on top 3/5 times 6 is going to be 18/5 or 3 3/5 cups of peanut butter. And that's our answer. That's how much he would need. Okay. You can leave it as a decimal if you like, 3.8. The floor of the living room was carpeted. Total cost to carpet the living room was $845.25. What was the price of carpet per square foot? So we want this, the unit rate. So let's find out what the area of this living room here. It was a 16 by 10 feet living room. So if you multiply these two, area, remember, equals length times width, or base times height. In this case, 16 times 10, or 160 feet squared. Now, it cost, so if I write it as a fraction here, I got $845.25 for this many square footage, 160 feet squared. Now, if I want to know how much it costs for 1 square footage, 1 foot square, how much would it be? So divide by 160, divide the top by 160, and 845.25 divided by 160 equals $5.28 per square foot. Okay, so every square foot of that living room costs you $5.28. Table below shows a single point, okay, that is on a line that shows a proportional relationship. Which of the following points could also be on that line? So one of the things you can do here, if it's a proportional relationship, and well, obviously there was a line here, so I'm going to draw that line. So if I take that line and match it with this, okay, that's what it should look like, okay? So, and the second thing they're asking now, I can figure out the pen, right? So here's my line. Which of these 4 points are also on that line? So let me just move this a little bit to as precise as possible. Okay. Now, let's look at 0.5/1. So 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. Is that point on the line? No. F is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it looks like it's, so this one is a yes. What about 2, 1? 2 to the right and 1 up. Well, that was close, but not on the line, so that's a no. And 3, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And point K is not on the line. So the only point that's on this line would be 0.88. Okay. What's a better buy and what's the difference between the fluid ounces between the two sizes? So first one is 96 cents, 0.96 for a 12-ounce can. The second one is $1.12 and you get 16 ounces. So let's find the unit rate. 1 ounce over here, 1 ounce over here. So on the top here, it's divide by 12 and divide by 12. And 96 cents divided by 12 ounces. TRX, PMCB, CU, BTT. BTT, T3P, P3T. Follow. Okay, so we get 0.96 divided by 12. Oops, 0.96 divided by 12. 0.96 divided by 12 equals 0.08. And at the bottom here, $1.12 divided by 16 equals 0.07. So now it's asking us for the difference between these two prices. You take 0.08 minus 0.07, and the difference between the two prices per ounce would be 1 penny. So per ounce, there's a difference of 1 penny for both. 19. So Carlos paid 112.5 for 9 books. Find K, find the equation of the line. Okay. So this is our Y, right? The money is usually our Y, and this is our X. So our K is going to be Y over X, which is going to give us 112.5 divided by 9. So 112.5 divided by 9 is going to give us that K is 12.5. And with this, I can write an equation very easily. Y equals 12.5 X. And that makes sense because every book, this, if you turn it to the unit rate, means that every $12.5 for 1 book, and that's the price per book, and that makes sense. So if I bought 2 books, it'd be 12.5 times 2. If I bought 3, it'd be 12.5 times 3, etc. So I can find this where Y represents the total, right? The total cost, and X represents the books, however many books I'm buying. 20. Is this table proportional or not? Well, if it is, I'm going to do K equals Y over X for each of these three. This one, and this one. So the first one is 63 over 2. And if you do 63 divided by 2, you're going to get 31.5. Let me do the second point, which is 112.50 divided by 5. 112.50 divided by 5, and that's going to give us 112.5 divided by 5 equals 22.5. So you can tell that K is different. And if I do the last one, which is 145.50 divided by 7, that's going to give us another completely different value. 145.50 divided by 7, K is going to be 20.79 rounded. So this is definitely not proportional. Okay, so this is not a table that shows a proportional relationship. Okay, because all our K's are different. Okay. Sam paid $5.30 for 5 apples. Okay, so again, find K, write the equation, blah blah blah. So this is my Y and this is my X. Yeah, so if I want to find K, I do Y over X, and I'm going to do 530 divided by 5. And K is going to be 5.30 divided by 5. It's going to be $1.06. 106 is my unit rate, so which means that 1 apple, the unit rate is $1.06 for 1 apple. If I want to write the equation, I'm going to write Y equals 1.06x, where Y represents the total and X represents the number of apples that I buy. Okay, so this one, 22, the relationship. Okay, so if you have a triangle and it's equilateral, that means that all the sides measure the same. So let's think about this for a second. So let's say the side was 1, which means all the other sides was 1. So I'll create a little table over here. Call this side, because I want to find out the relationship between the side and the perimeter. When the side is 1, the perimeter is going to be 3, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. When the side is 2, the perimeter is going to be 6. When the side is 3, and each side measures 3, I'm going to get 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 9. You can stop right here because you can tell that there is a relationship here. It's a times 3 relationship, right? Times 3 times 3 times 3. So if I were to write an equation for this, right, I can, this is going to be my x and this is going to be my y. So let's get our k first. K would be 3 over 1, or as you already know, k equals 3. And so my equation would be y, the perimeter is 3x, so the number of sides. So if my sides were 4, I would do 3 times 4 and I would get 12. If my side was 5, I would do 3 times 5 and I get 15. And you can tell the relationship here is a times 3. 24, ooh, last question. Which table shows a proportional relationship? So look at each table separately. 4 times 3 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 7 times 3 is not 28, and 9 times 3 is not 36. So this table is a no. 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 5 is 15, 5 times 5 is not 20, and 7 times 5 is not 28, so not proportional. It's a times 4. 2 times 4, yes. 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 30. 5 times 4 is 30. So again, not proportional. Because they all have to have the same k, right? Last one, 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 3 is 21. And 8 times 3 is 24. Or go the other way. 9 divided by 3 is 3, which is k, right? When I divide y by x. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 5 is 5. Sorry, 3. 21 divided by 7 is 3. And 24 divided by 8 is 3. So k is 3 no matter which point you use. Okay. And that's the explanation that I would expect to see on this. Apart from that, this is really what your test is going to look like. Questions very close to this one. Oh, I need to put your word here, and your word is going to be good question. It's going to be dinner out. That's your bonus word. Okay, that's it.